Hello friends, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to this new video where we will explore the step-by-step process of growing raspberry plants together. We will especially focus on how to prune and multiply your raspberry plants for a bountiful harvest. After watching this video, raspberry cultivation will hold no secrets for you. I hope you enjoy this video. If that's the case, please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell to stay updated on my new videos. Also, don't forget to give it a thumbs up to encourage me to continue translating videos from my French channel. Lastly, leave a comment to let me know what cultivation guide you'd like to see in the next video or if you have any questions. I'll be happy to respond. Without further ado, let's start the video. Enjoy! 1. Presentation. The raspberry bush is a deciduous fruit-bearing shrub that belongs to the Raspberries family. It's a highly resilient shrub that can endure temperatures as low as -22 degrees Fahrenheit, easy to maintain, and exhibits rapid growth. At maturity, it can reach a size of 1 to 2.18 yards in all directions. Raspberry bushes are categorized into two groups. No Everbearing, producing raspberries only once a year but in substantial quantities, June, July. Everbearing, with two production periods in June to July and September to October. Each harvest is smaller than no Everbearing varieties, but it spans the entire season. Varieties yielding yellow, purple, and black raspberries can be found, in addition to the traditional red raspberries. Two. Soil and exposure. The raspberry bush can thrive in various soil types, but it particularly favors light, cool, rich, and moist soils that are well drained and low to non-calcareous. For exposure, it is best planted in a partially shaded area, as it does not tolerate high temperatures, and even less so, drought. Fan trellising. This is the most commonly employed form because it takes up less space than the Dutch-style trellis. The canes, stems, will be trained in a fan shape on a structure composed of 3 wire lines stretched approximately 6 inches, 12 to 16 inches, and 20 to 24 inches above the ground between 2 iron stakes. Dutch-style trellising. While more space-intensive, this method facilitates pruning and fruit access. The canes bearing fruit will be trained along 2 wire lines stretched at 16 to 20 inches above the ground, spaced 20 inches on each side of the planting axis. In the center, the new shoots of the year will be allowed to develop naturally. Three. Planting. Whether bare-rooted or in a pot, it is preferable to plant the raspberry in the fall to promote root development, establishment, and consequently, fruiting the following year. However, you can also plant your raspberry until spring, avoiding freezing periods. 3 months before planting, dig either a hole or a trench along the desired length for cultivation and incorporate a complete fertilizer at the bottom. Also, install the necessary structures for the chosen trellising method. Depending on the chosen cultivation form, space the plants approximately 3.28 to 3.94 feet apart for fan-trained bushes and approximately 23.62 to 27.56 inches apart for Dutch-style trained bushes. For a bare root raspberry plant, trim the ends of the roots by a few centimeters and remove any dead or damaged ones. Soak them in a fertilizing mixture of soil and water, pruning. Ensure even distribution of the roots at the bottom of the trench. You can create a small mound of soil at the trench's bottom to place the roots on. Bury the canes up to the 3rd or 4th bud, clearly visible from the base. Once planted, trim all canes to 12 inches above the ground, making sure to cut just above a clearly visible bud. For a potted raspberry plant, soak the container in water for a few minutes, then remove the plant from the pot. Dig a hole slightly larger than the volume of the root ball and place a layer of gravel at the bottom for drainage. Position the root ball so that its surface is at the same level as the soil. Backfill, tamping down well as you go to eliminate air pockets, create a basin, and water generously. Next, trim each cane to 12 inches above the ground, just above a well-formed and clearly visible bud. 4. Pruning. No everbearing. Each year, in late spring, after the harvest, we will cut the canes that have borne raspberries to the ground. The other canes will be left untouched. It is also an option to wait until the following spring, March, to eliminate the canes that bore fruit. These canes are dry by then, and you can simply snap them off at the base. For beginners, this is the better choice as it eliminates the possibility of making a mistake. 5. Pruning. Everbearing. Every year at the end of summer, after the harvest, we will cut the sections of the cane that have produced fruit. It is also a good time to remove the dry canes that bore fruit the previous fall if it was not done in June. In the following June, cut the canes that bore fruit the previous year to the ground. They are dry and easily break at their base. Allow the young shoots to develop. Caution! The underground canes of the raspberry bush can cover great distances before emerging unexpectedly. Do not let them take over, and eliminate them as soon as they appear. 7. Propagation. Propagating raspberry plants allows for the easy generation of a large number of plants from a single stem or root of the parent plant. Propagate the leafy shoots or roots of the raspberry plant, starting in early summer for leafy stem cuttings or in November for root cuttings. Propagating leafy shoots. Select and cut a healthy 1-year-old shoot using a clean and sharp pruner. On this shoot, cut as many sections as possible, ensuring that each section bears 2 buds. Each cut should be made just above a bud, with a clean cut. Dip the lower end of each section into rooting powder. Place the sections of shoots upright, either in the ground or in a pot, in a mixture of garden soil and sand, pressing it in so that the first bud is at ground level. Division of raspberry roots. Dividing raspberry plants helps maintain vigorous and productive specimens while easily increasing the number of plants. Divide them between the months of November and March when the plant is in a period of vegetative rest. Divide raspberry plants every 2 or 3 years to eliminate some of the shoots. Keep around 10 canes per linear meter. The shoots can be replanted in the garden. Tip: if you're dividing the plant to replant shoots in the garden, choose vigorous shoots. If you're thinning the raspberry bush, select the less vigorous shoots to eliminate. How to divide. Dig up the raspberry plant's base using a digging fork. Divide the clump by cutting it with a sharp spade or knife. The cut should be clean. Depending on the plant's size, divide the clump into 2 to 4 parts, called clumps, consisting of shoot canes, rhizomes, and roots. Immediately replant and water the divided plant to prevent drying out. Reinstall the clumps in the garden right away, preferably in well-tilled, light soil, at a depth of approximately 7.87 inches, 20 centimeters. Enrich the soil with compost to promote recovery. Six. Maintenance and care. Every spring, before the start of new growth, mix a special fruit fertilizer into your soil by lightly scratching the surface to a depth of about 1.97 inches or 5 centimeters. Keep the soil around your raspberry plants clean with regular hoeing. You can mulch the base of your raspberry plants with a layer of decomposing manure or straw. This will help maintain soil moisture, control weed growth, and gradually nourish the soil as the mulch breaks down. 8. Harvest and storage. Harvest raspberries by gently pulling the fruit with your fingertips. The pulp should naturally separate from its white core inside. Since raspberries ripen at different times, you'll need to harvest every 2 to 3 days. If you need to transport the raspberries, you can pick them with their stems to keep the white core intact, reducing the risk of crushing. Cette vidéo est maintenant terminée. Merci de l'avoir regardé jusqu'au bout. J'espère qu'elle vous aura plu. Si c'est le cas, merci de vous abonner à la chaîne pour m'encourager et continuer de vous traduire toutes les vidéos de ma chaîne française. N'oubliez pas non plus de mettre un pouce bleu. Pour finir, laissez-moi un commentaire pour me dire quel guide de culture vous aimeriez voir dans la prochaine vidéo ou si vous avez des questions. Je vous répondrai avec plaisir. À très vite pour une prochaine vidéo. Ciao.